Why, hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we serve up a full dish of this week's episodes of NBC's #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I'm your host, Tony Moore, and I am joined by my gaggle of gals. We have always serving lumberjack realness.
Plaid, all day. Michael Mattis, how are you?
And, of course, the ever so beautiful...
Hi, everybody. I'm Araceli. I jumped in on that one. I remember from last week. I jumped in. It's like, oh, it's little on me.
And, of course, drenched in blue.
Yes. Hey, guys. Justin Hareld.
And thank you guys so much for joining us on this wonderful Sunday. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and _Dishin Days on the Twitter. The @ has just arrived in Salem. Yes. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're right here. So you might as well go ahead and click that subscribe button, click the bell, so that way you know exactly when we're coming live to you and in living color. Also, you can find us on your favorite podcast station, whenever you want to take us on a hike, on a treadmill, on a road trip, or down the street to your favorite Cracker Barrel. We will be there for you, giving you a full recap. Just check out Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and any other podcast platform. We'll be there to serve up a full dish. And that's your church. Oh, and don't forget to buy merch. Yes. Make sure you go to dishindays.threadless.com and buy a t-shirt, a beach towel, a sweatshirt, a mug. Many different merchandise purchases can be made if you go to dishindays.threadless.com. Thank you so much for your support. And later on today, we will be joined by the newest Salem resident, Mr. Carson Boatman, Johnny DiMera himself, who has swiveled into town and makes no bones about it. We'll be talking with him and getting to know him just a little bit better as he makes his debut on Days this week. But before we get into all of that, how y'all doing? What did we think of? What'd you say?
It's good.
What did we think of this week's episodes of Days?
Good.
Love it. Want more of it.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
It was a great week, and even though there was not like, it wasn't one of those like sweeps weeks where it was like exciting or anything. A lot of interesting stuff and a lot of good conversations and new face. And yeah, it was a very, very engaging week.
Yes. And they're keeping things moving again, which is what, again, I watch all 4 soaps. There are 2 others. I'm getting really frustrated. I'm like, we've been on this for 3 months. Let's keep it moving. And on Days, I'm like, I'm so happy because even storylines I'm not happy with, you're keeping it moving. So I don't have to spend like 2, 3, 4 weeks on a storyline I hate.
I so agree. The pacing was really good this week. I was also pleasantly surprised, and we'll get into this a little later, but some of the storyline I was kind of dreading. And then once it presented itself, I was like, okay, I'm kind of into this. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I thought this week was pretty good too. I actually watched it on Peacock TV this week, which I highly recommend because it goes quicker.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, you can really get the episodes quicker.
Yeah, when I watched on Peacock, I was pleasantly surprised. I remember when I used to watch it on NBC and the NBC app, it would be like 5 minutes of commercials every break. And with Peacock, they have commercials, but they're not like long breaks. They're like quick breaks. And then there's sometimes where there's no commercials. So
every once in a while they'll sponsor a whole episode. So it's nice. Yeah, no commercials. Yeah.
And guys, it's free.
Yes.
Say that word, free.
It's free.
Just so you guys know, we don't get that nailed down from
TV. So we actually like it. Yeah.
I'm just saying. All right, y'all. Well, let's break it all down. But if you like to send us a check,
we'll keep talking.
Listen. Peacock, if you're out there, we're available. Doom, doom, doom.
Remember that episode of Will and Grace where they were at NBC and that old lady was there and she was like, ding, ding, ding.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Will and Grace, first run. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First run. Got it.
Look it up. Look it up.
So find on Peacock.
Yeah, you can. Well, let's break it on down, y'all. It's now time to start.
Dishin Days.
Lord, 5 years later, we still ain't got that down right. Ba-bam! We said it and forget it. Well, because last week I just forgot it. All right, so let's kick things off with the 227 reunion we didn't know we were getting but loved with Paulina, Olivia, Lonnie, Abe, and Eli. Okay. Okay. I love Lonnie. But if I had to hear about that Paris trip one more time,
right?
I know.
I was like, girl, I get it. You like Roxy Andrews on Drag Race. You were left at the bus stop.
Oh
I
my
get
God.
it. I understand. But they just kept telling that story over and over again. And it wasn't until about the third time I was like, let me pay attention because there's a reason why she keeps talking about this story.
And I feel like it was supposed to be indicative of a pattern, but she really didn't have any other examples. She just kept using.
I know exactly. That's what I was just gonna say. It's like that one time plus it was that one time plus what she tried to do with Horton Town Square.
Yeah,
and those were her biggest violations.
Girl, let it go. Yeah.
Lonnie was acting like it was a consistent. Like she came in, she left. She came in, she left. She came in, and it's like no, it was just that one Paris trip that she bombed out on. It's like. Okay, maybe give her a little bit of a little leeway here.
Yeah,
which she finally did.
Over that now. Yeah.
I mean, she kept acting like she didn't have a stable upbringing because of Paulina. I'm like, Paulina grew. We know differently now, but Paulina was her aunt. It's like she was not the source of stability in her life. That wasn't going to happen. So, and she kept acting like it was Tamra who did that. I'm like, I'm sorry, you had a stable upbringing. You keep repeatedly saying that you had everything you need. Tamra was a solid role model in terms of work ethic, in terms of stability. So I'm like, what the hell are you complaining about? I had a trip canceled when I was about that age as well, to Spain, and I was like all excited. I 5 days before that happened, my appendix burst. That was 20 years ago. I'm not still complaining about that.
Yeah.
Well, that's also a little different. Like, your appendix burst. Like, you didn't get stood up.
Paulina's appendix didn't burst. She just didn't show up.
Right.
But it's just like you can't, like you.
I get what you're saying. The disappointment. You've let go of the disappointment.
After 20 years, you have to learn to let some stuff go.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, the other thing, like aside from this Paris story that we know about Paulina, we also heard of all the lavish stuff that she used to do for Lonnie when she was growing up. And even back then, I don't think any of us ever connected anything. We just thought maybe Paulina was somebody who just, showed her love for someone through buying them stuff. So that makes sense. But I guess now we know what she whispered to the twins, which was, I'm your grandma.
Yeah.
So how do we feel about Paulina being revealed as Lonnie's real mother?
I'm on the same page as a lot of other people. I like the wrench that they're throwing in. I like the drama they're creating, but I don't like that this seemingly lifts Lonnie out of the Carver family.
Yeah.
That's the part I don't like. If they can write this somehow that Abe and Paulina, did the thing before. I don't know how they could write it so that they keep Lonnie in the Carver family, but it's I do like that it's brought a little drama, but it's brought a new storyline to Lonnie and Eli, and it's not all about their babies or anything like that. It's giving them something new to do.
You know what? I just realized that, Michael, and I should have realized it this week that that she's no longer a Carver.
Yeah.
Well, it was well, yeah, and even Paulina said it, like, or was it Paulina or Olivia that said, like, oh, you're not just telling Lonnie that you're her mother, you're telling her that Abe's not her father.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that means Theo's not her brother.
Yeah.
Oh Lord,
exactly.
She ain't got no family, y'all. And then she got Chanel as a sister.
Oh.
Yep.
All this is just
not a
working
bad
for
trade.
you, Tony.
Yes, I was like, oh yeah, okay, Paulina's the mom, but oh, Ray's the daddy,
Yeah.
And now I'm just
Tim,
like,
okay, so Tim Rowell had my thought that Abe and Paulina maybe had a drunk night together that Abe doesn't remember. I mean, that would be an easy out for the but you know, and I know we're just starting this road, so let's see where it leads, but
I'd say for me, I was dreading this. Like, I think we all they were hinting at this all last week, and we sort of were like, why are they scratching at this? And I was sort of dreading it, but I have to say, when it was revealed, I actually really liked it. I think it explains all the other unanswered questions that we always had. It explains the Tamra stuff, because that was never fully explained as to why she kept Abe from her. She apologized, but she never really explained why. So that explains that. It also explains kind of, maybe this is a little bit of not a recon, but remember when Lonnie first came on, she wasn't the character she is now. They sort of changed her a little bit. Remember, she was sort of crazy and obsessed with Sean Douglas and a little out there and sort of impulsive and all that stuff. So that, I think that sort of
she
fits
hooked up
in.
with JJ in Miami.
It sort of fits into like what we know now of her, who her real parents are. Like I'm getting more of a complete look at Lonnie now. The Abe thing, I think, is sort of like, oh, how are they going to do this? I think, though, my guess is that they're sort of gonna do the "you're my chosen family and you'll always be my daughter" thing. I don't think that's gonna really change much. I think that part of it will stay the same, but I like the addition of having Lonnie have a mother in town and have a mother like Paulina. So I'm interested in that part of it.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Justin. It does explain a lot.
That
of
sounded
the
so
stuff.
official. Like you were in debate. That's a really good point. Justin, thank you. My rebuttal for that is
it does explain the Tamara stuff. Because I was really trying and I couldn't remember when Lonnie first came on. I couldn't remember how that was sort of explained. If anybody in the chat can remind me, because that was odd. Everybody was like, oh, just another Carver. Oh my god, he has a daughter, that and that's perfect for Abe, because oh my, he's the father figure, so of course he's the best person to have. But it wasn't but I don't remember how Lonnie came to town and how much she knew about Abe in the beginning. Like, was this a story that Tamara was telling her entire life, or did she tell her when she was an adult? If somebody could explain that to me, I have no recollection of that time, because I feel like that's gonna need some re-explanation.
So I think when Lonnie first came to town, I'm doing like a quick like search. When she first came to town, I believe she was looking for Abe.
Yeah, she knew. Yeah,
and it was revealed that like, I'm your daughter.
Yeah. So then,
and then it was sort of just accepted. Like, it wasn't. There was no conflict.
And
Lonnie. It says Lonnie is introduced as a new police cadet at the Salem Police Department and later reveals herself to be the illegitimate daughter of Mayor Abe Carver and his ex, Tamara Price.
Okay, that still requires a lot of explanation, and I guess we'll get it now. In terms of, again, Tamara's going to need to, I really hope that she comes back, because somebody's going to need to explain, was this something that Lonnie was told her entire life? Was it Tamara's idea to go there because of the timing? Because then, Paulina would have had to have gotten pregnant around the time that Tamara left Salem. And how did that, come about? This is going to take a lot of explanation. And again, it's kind of like, that didn't, obviously for our benefit, we know we love Lonnie as Abe's daughter, but it really begs the question of like, Tamara could have easily raised Lonnie as a single parent and said, I had a one night stand. Why go down this particular route? Why pull Abe into it?
Paulina?
No, Tamara, because Paulina gave Lonnie to Tamara to raise as her own, as a single mother. So why did
I think Olivia, the mother, came up with that plan of.
You think it was her idea to say, she came up with that plan. But whose idea was it to say to tell Lonnie that Abe was her dad?
Oh, that I don't know.
Why bring
that's my sticking point in all of this, is that everything that Olivia said made sense. But the sticking point for me was like, okay, whose idea was it to tell Lonnie that Abe was her dad?
Abe was her dad.
Yeah, was it just a timing issue that they needed to just pull a dad out of thin air in case Lonnie ever went looking, kind of a thing?
But do you think she was told that Abe was her father, or did she do some snooping herself and just?
That's what I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know if we might know that. Yeah.
No, I don't think it was explained. Two, here's the other little issue with this, is that if Tamara knew the truth when she appeared, the 2 times in Salem, I feel like it could have been played a little differently, because even she believed herself that, like, this is Abe and I's daughter,
right?
So how could you keep up with that?
Obviously, like, we can't just take what's being told and have it at that. We need a little bit more background. We need more explanation for reasons like that, because because Tamara has been back a few times and has interacted with Abe and interacted with Lonnie as a mom. They could maybe write it in that, that's why she passed out at the wedding, because she knew she was keeping the secret or something. They could, throw that little nugget in there. But yeah, we do need a little further, more of an explanation than what we've gotten so far. And I'm sure we'll get it, but I am curious about how they're gonna tinker this to make sense.
Yeah.
Part of me thinks too, maybe they named Abe because of the fact that he was a police officer back then. Maybe there's some protection in that, because I don't know, but I sort of got the feeling now this is the second time we've heard of Ray. Like, are we getting a new villain sometime soon? Maybe like, is Ray going to make an appearance? He's also the guy who abused Paulina. He's also the guy who Paulina sort of stole money from him and sort of did her little nest egg to get away from him. So
we haven't heard anything to say that he is not alive, still alive. So I would love it and I would hate it. I'm obviously, I don't want to get into that too much, just because it's an abuse storyline. But here's the thing: the idea of bringing up an abuse storyline and bringing up PTSD. Right now, they've just used it as a plot point, but they're kind of, and I was listening to a podcast last night that reminded me that, you know what, when you're abused, that PTSD does not go away. It lasts for the rest of your life. And right now it's kind of being treated as a plot point kind of a thing with Paulina. But there are certain triggers that happen. And I think if they do this really well, they don't necessarily have to bring back Ray. If they do, boy, oh boy, is that going to be catastrophic.
We don't need Ray. Ray is just for explanation. Like, it's just like, that's why we have that.
Yeah, but the explanation of it and the triggers, they need to do. Again, this is my thing with when they bring up like, oh, I was abused or I was raped, something like that. They gloss over it and say, okay, now it's done. It's happened. We've worked through the initial shock and trauma, and you're good for the rest of your life. That's not how trauma works. And I think Paulina having to, eventually we know this is going to come out, and I think Paulina needs to not relive this, but in her eventual explanation of this, it needs to be addressed that abuse is real, and let's not treat this as just a plot point in the Salem thing. Let's if you're really going to say this, please go for it, is my point. Okay. And that's my soapbox.
Well, all right. So, I mean, I don't need a deeper dive into that time with Ray. Like, I appreciate this explanation, and now let's move forward into like figuring out this whole Lonnie, Paulina, Tamara stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'm curious to know how they're going to move forward with this. But Michael, how did you enjoy all of the 227 references?
I was okay with that. I was okay with that.
Because we all know Michael Meadows hates cheeky stuff.
Yes.
This was cheeky differently. I don't know why, but it was
just because
like
it was Marla Gibbs.
The apartment
maybe because and then because there was
Mary.
There was the 227 on the door. The secretary's name was Mary, and someone had posted an old 227 clip where they were sitting on the stoop of 227, and the other lady was hanging out the window as she did, and Mary Sandra was saying, she's like, "Oh, I'm a communications specialist." And Mary was like, "What does a communication specialist do?" And the other lady was like, "She's a secretary." And so they referenced that in this show, saying that Paulina's secretary, Mary, booked Olivia's flight, got her first class and everything. Yeah. So I don't know. I enjoyed it this time. But don't let if Kyle Louder comes back and starts saying Brady bullshit, I'm out.
Oh God. Well, you could also say that the writers did a further reference, because I've been watching 227, and both Mary and Sandra used to work at a travel agency.
Oh yeah.
So how about that? I enjoyed having Marla Gibbs on as the mom. She seemed very believable. To have had Paulina and Tamara, and just the attitude that they had like towards each other. It was kind of like that protective mother, but like Paulina feeling like she could never be good enough.
Yeah.
Like, even though she has like all this wealth and stuff, she could still never be good enough in her mother's eyes. And I like just I like the moment that they took just to really sit down and not only establish their relationship, but then reveal this secret, and how she literally came to be like, you said you weren't going to say anything. That's why the whole Paris trip was put on pause, was because you were trying to,
trying to weave your way back in, and that wasn't the deal. The deal was you would stay away.
Exactly. So you was doing team too much. So we had to come in here and lock it down.
Yeah. And you know what I love is she doesn't come off as, so overbearing that we can't stand her, or so overprotective, but she seems very much the pragmatist, making Paulina see the bigger picture. She's the pragmatist. She's practical. She's like, it's not about Tamara, and it's not about you. It's about Lonnie. See the bigger picture here. This is about Lonnie's well-being. She's like, it's not about me. It's not about any one of us who made this decision. This is about this child and her overall well-being. You got to see the bigger picture. And so she's coming at that from a very, I took it as a very practical standpoint. Yeah. Where she's like, she's like trying to pull emotion out of it, so that which works well to pop, which again, as Michael said, works very, Tony and Michael said, which is that she's works very well to see as the mother of both Tamara and Paulina, because Tamara's very responsible. Paulina's like way, way, way over the top and very emotional, and it seems like Paulina really needs to be reined in.
Yeah. Oh my God. I almost got confused just now, because going back to a 227 reference, that's how Sandra felt about her mother, who was played by Della Reese, that her mother didn't love her because she wasn't like her brothers and sisters. So I almost got the two mixed up. Anyway, what were you going to say, Justin?
Yeah, I was going to say Marla was great. It was so good to see. I thought she looked great. She sounded great. I mean, she's 90 years old. I mean,
there was one moment that really made me giggle. There was a moment, and I can't remember what was said, but they showed they showed Olivia kind of walking off camera, but she was laughing and she was kind of like saying like that bitch to about something Paulina had said, because Paulina was staring at, and it was just like this like moment. It made me laugh.
Mary Sandra.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, we'll see how this storyline unfolds. This should be quite interesting. I do kind of wish that Paulina just would have went ahead and told her the truth right then. I don't. Olivia was doing everything that she could to still prevent that, but I kind of wish that she had just blurted out, because there's this feeling of like, oh my gosh, how we're gonna have to endure this now for a little bit. So we'll see. All right, moving on to our next storyline, which is EJ, Chad, Chanel, Allie, and of course, Johnny DiMera is now in town.
Giovanni.
I totally forgot his name was Giovanni. I want to touch on this first. Does no one care about Sammy?
I know. Well,
I get that Belle got the text that she had to leave town, but like Allie was trying to find her. I don't know if Allie got a text, but she seems.
Allie got a text. She group texted Marlena, Allie,
she
and
texted everyone.
It was like a group text because the phones went off at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw Tony, but Marlena and Allie did seem suspicious about it, but they were kind of like, I guess we'll believe it. I feel like it's still itching at Allie
it was kind of like they almost all had the attitude was like, well, Sammy.
Yeah. Well, Hurricane Sammy, she comes in and then
fucks
she
everything up and then leaves. Yeah.
It was more sort of like, maybe we should just leave this alone, because I felt like they got the feeling of this doesn't really sound like her, but also like, do we really want to engage in this?
Yeah.
They're all like Homer Simpson backing into the bushes.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what
These people don't know each other. I'm like, yes, Sammy blows in, but she blows out the same way. She was blew out of town with half of Stefano's fortune. She doesn't leave quietly.
Yeah.
Well, this time she left forcefully.
Yeah.
So how did we feel? I liked how they speaking of the text, I like how they presented that, because everybody got the text and then they cut to EJ putting his phone away. And for a second I was like, oh, EJ did it. But then it was the following scene where I was like, oh, he was cutting Johnny's credit card off. So I'm like, okay, now we're back to who has Sammy.
Go ahead, Tony. I was waiting, Tony. Go ahead.
Where's the?
Oh, you got
yes.
Who done kidnapped Sammy? We still have our guesses here. Are we still good with these?
I'm good with mine. Yeah.
Ditto.
I don't think there was any information that led us to think anything else or to have any updates. So
I'm still. Yeah, I stand by Kristen or Kate.
Whoever did it knows, probably knows Sammy in order to send that text to think like people would be worried and wouldn't just think she just randomly left town. So yeah, it's definitely something she knows.
All right. So now, first of all, not Johnny coming through the catacombs.
I know.
How long has he been down there? Do we think maybe he's been down there longer, like, than we think?
No. Remember, he came through, saw EJ, and then EJ was like, why didn't you just use the door?
Yeah.
And then he was like, it was locked, so I just went through the tunnels. You know how much I like the tunnels. And I found this. First of all, that ball looked new.
I know.
Yeah, that ball would have looked. Yeah.
I could see him exploring the tunnels as a kid.
It would have been better if it was something from like Ciara or Sammy, or I thought that's what it was going to be when he like handed it to him. I was
like, one of Kristen's wigs,
or like so the mask, right.
Yeah. and we'll get into and later when Carson comes on, we'll get into Johnny's character a little more. But I need to make a really strong point here. EJ is so uncultured. I could not believe. I was appalled when Johnny starts naming off all of these famous directors. Look, I don't have to have seen every film that's been ever made since the 20s to know who these names are. It's kind of like the time I got on set and with a bunch of I'm working with people in their 20s, and I look at this guy and he doesn't know who Ava DuVernay is. I'm like, how are you working in this town and you don't know who ever
But
doing it?
EJ doesn't care about that. EJ has a different road for Johnny,
yes,
and it's
but
not to be an independent
it's like
filmmaker.
but here's the thing: if this was Stefano definitely. I know Stefano's thinking it was opera, but Stefano most definitely would have known those names. I would have known that they were big directors.
He don't care, honey. He want him to work at DiMera Enterprises.
I know, but then
he don't care about them directors.
Araceli's issue is that EJ apparently had never heard of them.
Yeah, if he doesn't care about them, that's different. But he's saying he never heard of those people. I'm like, wait, what? You grew up as Stefano's son and you have never heard of these people?
I'm with you there. I thought that was the one missed. I feel like they were putting that on so they can have the conflict with Johnny, but I thought that was a weird angle to take because that definitely wasn't EJ. We all know that EJ knows art because that's the whole app. That was the Abigail connection. So I thought that was a misstep there. I was like,
when Johnny started talking about making films on his phone, when it's like we know that's how it's done these days. But of course, if you try to explain that to your parents, of course they don't know that. But when he starts explaining that, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense at all.
Right.
That was the one misstep. I was
like what people are saying in the chat. How the one way they could explain that was that he died and maybe that could have affected his brain or something. Maybe he doesn't know he knows that. You know what I mean?
No.
That could be an explanation. No. Don't give me that look. That could be an explanation.
EJ died, was brought back to life, had to be resurrected after a fire. And yet, Araceli is sitting here mad as hell that he didn't remember some directors, and he probably just got his full memory back.
I swear to God, I could lose all of my marbles, my memories tomorrow, and I'd probably still know all of the lyrics to Coat of Many Colors.
You don't know that. You don't know how your memory works. Ciara came back and didn't remember nothing. She didn't remember that she was married.
She'd probably still remember the lyrics to Coat of Many Colors.
Well, guess what? She didn't.
Where we go? So Johnny. So
what did you guys think about first impressions of Carson Boatman as Johnny DiMera?
Love him.
He great. Like I was thinking back to when Billy Flynn started as Chad and had to kind of jump into this DiMera stuff. And when Billy Flynn joined, he had chemistry with every single person he had scenes with. He started with James Scott, Lauren Koslow. I'm blanking. It was 7 years ago. But I just remember thinking, I was like, wow, this guy really fits in. And it was the same thing with Carson this week. And like same thing with Lindsay Arnold last year and now Carson this week. Like he played off everybody so well, and it was so authentic and just looked really easy for him. I mean, I'm sure he worked at it, but that's really, I think, lends to his abilities, that he was able to jump in and play off of all these people, and just it looked so natural.
Yeah. I think he's one of a few characters that I feel like came in and they just get it right off the bat. And while I watched his scenes this week, and side note, for anyone, sorry, my computer was like, your computer's gonna die. I was like, why is it gonna die? It's plugged in, but it was not. But for anyone that's like, oh, they're probably just saying this because he's a guest today. No, like he really did.
Everybody that's watching us knows that we speak truth. Yeah. Like if we don't like something, we don't make any.
We'll say it, but we say it.
We're certainly not going to go the other direction. We probably just won't say anything.
Right. But I feel like because you have to remember, we haven't seen Johnny since he was like tiny. Yeah. Like when the other I can't remember the kid actor's name, but Johnny was this like super hyper kid. So like Carson coming into this didn't have a foundation or anything to go off of. So he really had to lay the groundwork on Johnny DiMera in his 20s, just like Lindsay Arnold had to do with Allie. So all that to say, I feel like he came in and he did a great job. And listen,
Yes.
Johnny DiMera must have a little party side to him too, like his twin sister Allie, because when he decided to wake up the next morning after meeting Chanel and see a little thirst trap.
So see, I didn't take that as Johnny was a party guy. I almost see what we know about Johnny is he's very not a partier, but he definitely has a charisma about him that probably say what? Charisma. You know. It's all been revealed. No, I was saying he has charisma. He has charm.
Yeah.
And I think in confidence. And yes. I think that's what we saw when
Johnny DiMera is a thought. That's what he is a thought. That's what
bingo.
That's what we're here for. To put it very nicely. He has charisma. He a thought.
He can. It's a different kind of party muscle. There's the party all night muscle that you have in your early 20s, and then there's the sophisticated party muscle that you have where you're working the room kind of a thing, where it's like there are people that literally throw professional parties. That's what they do for a living, and they're not getting trashed. They're working the room kind of thing, and that's kind of the vibe that I get from him. Like this is the kind of stuff that he could use to fundraise his own filmmaking.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he's also very knowledgeable. Like I like the fact that he was like, DiMera Enterprises should have a media arts division and I was like, so why don't you hire him for that? And EJ was still
was a great compromise that EJ sort of it's like EJ's way of the highway. That was a perfect compromise there.
And I felt like Chad was just sitting there like, of course, EJ just does not get it.
He literally, EJ thought it was insulting, but Chad really threw EJ a bone there. Yeah. That could have been a huge opportunity. Mm-hmm. And for everyone involved, and a perfect compromise, and he just threw it away. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't understand what your beef is with Chad. He really did throw you a bone here.
Yeah.
But I am digging the relationship between Johnny and Chanel, though. That's going to be interesting. I'm glad.
And
glad
again, they like Chanel just instantly.
But it gives Chanel like something to concentrate on other than Allie and Trip.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes it a little bit more interesting now that it's now a quad somewhat, maybe possibly, and two of the members are siblings. So it makes things more interesting.
But it's interesting sibling part of it, but it's the twin of it all that when you really think about it, it's like how much of this is because of Johnny's own charm, or is this like a twin thing?
Yeah,
is Chanel attracted to Johnny because she sees Allie and Johnny, even though she doesn't know that they're unknowingly, exactly.
Yeah, because you hear the stories of twins marrying twins, and I'm like, I'm thinking that's so freaking weird. How do you do that? That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. But then it's like you think about it, it's like, is this kind of like that?
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, especially since Allie still don't know, because you know how Days is. Oh, girl, let me see the picture.
Yeah, I know.
My phone, like, oh, girl, I gotta go. We'll talk about this later. Oh, hey, Allie Cat, how are you? I was like,
they got dropped. Yeah, next episode we need a confrontation. Yeah,
right. All right, so we'll see how all that develops. Let's see. Moving right along, we
different assets. I can't.
Wait, what happened?
No, the comment was Johnny is Allie with different assets. Laugh out loud.
So next we have Vince, Ciara, Theo, Sean Bell, Claire, Marjan, Marlena, Allie. They told Theo. They told Theo. They told Theo. Okay. They said, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure?" Because she could remember. Are you sure?
But he acknowledged. I feel like he acknowledged at a point. He was like, "Everyone told me." And it was something that he had to go through and just figure out himself, and that's what happened.
I got to tell you, I liked his explanation, though. His explanation kind of made sense to me, where he was saying, I knew this day may come, but if we were further along in our marriage, it may not have you wouldn't have left me. So I thought that was actually a really good explanation for it. That actually made sense to me because we've seen that play out on the show.
It made sense to Theo.
No, well,
I didn't buy
5 years now. Do you think if he and Ciara are happily married,
years?
she gets her? I'm saying down the line. That's what Theo was saying. If we stay married and you got your marriage,
I don't think they would have made it 6 months.
No, that's what Theo's explanation was. If Ciara didn't get her memories and they got married, he was saying, "I knew that one day you would remember."
Oh
but
yeah,
I thought we would be further in our
that.
marriage. That by the time you remembered, it wouldn't make a difference.
So much time would have gone by.
Yeah, that's what he was
she
saying.
Would be like, oh well, I remember.
You wouldn't have left me over.
Yeah, I think Theo believes that.
Yeah.
No one else would have bought that.
I don't know though. That I thought it was a plausible. Hearing him say that actually made a lot more sense. We've seen it on the show. We've seen it on the show happen.
Yeah.
It don't happen like that, but
no,
because the second she remembered, okay.
Yeah, now.
No matter how many years.
No.
Will was dead and came back to life as EJ, living in Memphis as a bartender, okay, and briefly dated Paul. And the second he got his memories back of Sonny, he went back to Sonny.
Sonny wasn't in a 5-year marriage. That's the point he's making. He's saying that if it was further along.
But you're saying 5 years. I'm telling you, it wouldn't have made it 6 months.
I don't know.
But what would have been the timeline? Was he thinking like, "Oh, 5 years, girl? Okay, I'm good. Like you love me now. Like you ain't go."
No, I'll tell you why that's really presumptive. Because he's also because he is thinking that he thought that their friendship for their entire life was enough to build on and sustain their love story. And I'm like, I'm sorry, if that, and I get the rationale. It makes sense in his mind, and on paper it would make sense because who better to marry than your best friend? It technically makes sense, but if that's not enough to but that's my point. If that's not enough to sustain the love that they have right now, when Ciara has her memory, she was already screaming at people. Then no, it wouldn't have made it. It wouldn't have made it like a few weeks, a few months. No, not gonna happen.
Well, anyway, Ben and Ciara got married. John and Marlena and Allie and Henry and Claire and Sean and Belle were all there.
That's perfect.
And Claire is gone to South Africa with Theo to be the social media manager of the tech company that she can't work remote at.
Thank you for that thorough explanation.
And that's that on that. And everybody is happy that Ben and Ciara are together.
Yeah. Suspending disbelief that Claire could not work remotely because we've all had to do this. How do we feel about Claire actually taking like initiative with her life and really saying,
I mean, good for her.
Yeah.
What upset me if I was Claire and I was telling everybody that, hey, I'm leaving town today for a great opportunity for my life, and everyone kept coming at me, but what about Ciara? I would have been like, you know what? F y'all, I'm out of here. Like,
I think she's good. She got her man. She got y'all. She good. I gotta go.
But no, they were making it. What I'm saying is like they were like, oh, but what about Ciara? You just got, and it's like I'm doing something for me. And yeah, exactly. Ciara's good, so I'm gonna do something for me. Don't make it about Ciara. Like, congratulate me. Tell me you're gonna miss me. Don't immediately like make it about Ciara.
Yeah,
Ciara's fine now.
And I never thought I'd hear myself say that I wanted Claire to be more selfish, because God knows the character was just drove me up the wall when she was, but it was a different kind of selfish. It was, it's only about me kind of selfish. When in reality, thinking about it, Claire spent the last few years, it was like her life was about everybody else. Yeah. The one time it was kind of about her with Charlie, we know that went to hell pretty quickly. And every other choice that she's made really has been about protecting and helping and loving everyone else in her family and her friends. So this is the time for her to be selfish and say, this is something that, maybe it's not a permanent career choice, but this is going to, get me further along in whatever road is meant for me.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
go ahead, Justin.
I don't know the backstage politics of it, but I wish they would have. I liked Isabel. I thought she was good in the role. I wish they would have given the character purpose. Or they would have found a way to give her purpose in Salem. I do agree that her life has been about other people.
I almost kind of wish after seeing the scene with Claire and Theo, just the two of them, I kind of wished that they would have found a way to keep Theo and Claire permanently and kind of explore a relationship with them. I thought they had, and I don't know why I didn't notice this before. Maybe it was just because it was just the two of them in that conversation. But I was like, oh, I kind of like this. But now they're up and leaving. So
yeah.
Well, maybe they'll go explore that in South Africa.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Beyond Salem, South Africa.
Quick question before we move on, because in a few minutes we will have Carson Boatman joining us, who blew into town as Johnny DiMera this week. But how many of you truly believe that Ciara and Theo did not have?
I was shocked about that.
I believe it. I totally buy it.
That shocked me.
I totally buy it because Theo's character, with any other guy, I wouldn't believe it. But with Theo in particular, he really is that guy that would buy, I want it to be special.
That felt like a rewrite to me, just to like, I don't want to, just to like, to me, it felt like throwing the Sin fans a bone to be like, she didn't sleep with anyone else. Like, she's only slept with Ben. I was like, are you kidding me? They've never. It would make sense, the idea of who we know Theo is, but it didn't make sense to their relationship.
Well, I
don't know. I didn't even question it. I bought it.
I don't know if you.
I didn't even think about it when they said. I was like, oh, okay.
Sleep with them. I don't know.
Both can't talk at the same time.
Oh,
sorry.
Who wants to go?
Go ahead.
So
no one's going.
Okay, well, fine. So here's the thing. I felt like it was very telling of their relationship that because there were no sexual relations between Ciara and Theo, that she was just almost forcing herself to be into it because she didn't want the other option of Ben. And so that's why, because when there's passion, as we see with Ben and Ciara, if there's passion, you make love.
You worked through that damn ankle injury.
Well, they clearly did.
Yes.
What ankle? I was like, not forgetting you got an ankle injury. So
you work around it if you really want it. You work around stuff.
Well, let me tell you, they definitely did that. All right, so that was that storyline. So we'll see how long Ben and Ciara stay happy. Before we move on to tidbits, make sure you guys follow us on all social media platforms. And also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're right here at it. And don't forget to buy our merch. I figured if you say it differently, then maybe people will listen differently. All right. So now we have Gabby, Ava, Rafe, Nicole, EJ, and Belle. Not Gabby hating Ava so much that she comes in and is like,
totally.
"Oh, is this his secret girlfriend's necklace that was found outside?" I'm like, "That's Sammy's."
Then she puts on the damn necklace. We're limited on time, so I'm just gonna say Gabby, go away.
Yeah,
I just don't know what they're trying to do now because Nicole, getting rid of Nicole and Eric that quickly after so many years of like building it up, to now what seemingly is going to be a triangle with Rafe, Ava, and Nicole, with now Ava becoming more and more suspicious of Rafe and Nicole. And can somebody just put Duke in a bed and just let him live his life?
Transporting that damn beer. Yeah. I'm glad we're finally allowing Ava to do something other than cook. I mean,
that's all she did was cook.
I know. We're getting hints of the old Ava, at least maybe not I don't know about the ruthlessness yet, but we're getting the smart. We're getting her possibly being devious. We're getting her spark back a little bit, which is good. I don't know where this is going to go. I liked her and Rafe together. I really don't know about this triangle. I'm not that invested in either couple now. I feel like they countered so much that there isn't one that's dominating for me.
They need to throw another element. It can't simply be a Nicole, Rafe, Ava triangle. There has to be another element in this story. And I really think that Ava is up to something that we don't know about. That she's...
Well, remember, she still has that secret that she helped Kristen.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
Right, there's that. But I don't know. If they're going that route, they're drawing it out way too long, and they need to tell us.
I was going to say, do you think it's Sammy? Do you think the Sammy thing?
I don't know. But
totally had it.
There needs to be another element into it other than just, Ava wants Rafe wants Nicole. She's mad about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I felt bad for Nicole that those divorce papers came quicker than Eric did.
Yeah. I know. That is,
Where's the lie?
That's the only part of the storyline that didn't annoy me.
Yeah, we're laughing at something else.
Yeah.
I'm not even.
Anyways,
you meant yes.
Anyways, that was the only part that actually didn't annoy me. I really liked them leaning into Nicole's grief. That you know what, this is the love of her life. She's not going to be okay for a while.
She is going. She was a mess up in that bedroom.
Yes.
We usually don't get scenes like that. It's usually like the next day or 2 days, like the person's fine and they're walking around and they're kind of like, oh,
which is why I liked it. And I particularly liked it when she brought up her daughter, because I'm like, hello, where is Holly in all of this? And I love it. It just shows Nicole's growth so much that she was cognizant of like, I don't want my daughter to see me like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it.
And then like she finally has a little bit of strength, and then Belle shows up at Basic Black like, hey, I got the divorce papers. I'm like, y'all won't let her live at all.
I feel like they're striking a good balance with Nicole too, where people are recognizing that she made a mistake, but we're on her side.
She made a mistake, but we're on her side about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Even EJ acknowledged that.
Well, I love what Belle said was that, I can't be, I can't remember what she said, but she was basically like, I can't give anybody else, advice about their marriage. I mean, she cheated too.
Yeah.
Everybody in Salem cheated.
I mean, no one has
Duke cheated. Duke cheated on them. No one's safe in Salem.
Dang bear.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see how that turns out. Moving on to our last tidbit before segments, Xander, Gwen, Sean, and of course Jack.
I just want Jack to stop yelling.
Oh God.
I want Jack to realize that he has a 30-something-year-old daughter and not a 10-year-old daughter.
Yes.
How dare you have my little girl selling drugs? I'm like, did you talk to her and realize that she's an adult and she could have said no?
Yeah, do any of you guys think Jack is onto them and he's going along with this?
Jack is not onto. Jack
I don't think
he's
so.
onto something.
Okay,
but Jack will not leave well enough alone. That woman is grown.
Okay, they kept doing this narrative where like they sort of were lying to Jack and he was like, I'm a reporter, I can sniff out facts, I'm onto you guys. And then when Xander sort of did this confession, which I feel like this is a pattern with them, instead of just really telling the truth or some version of the truth, the lie is so outlandish that it's now ridiculous now. So that's what's making me think Jack is sort of like, I know there's something still here, but I'm going to play along with you two. I don't know. I'm getting that vibe a little bit.
I mean, it goes to their characters because that's all they're natural born liars. But in this case, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, none of it. I mean, yeah.
I thought it was sweet that Xander, stepped up and took the blame because he didn't want to see Gwen's relationship with Jack go under. But at some point, it's Salem. The truth gonna come out.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that has been your week of days. And we're going to go on to our favorite part of the show, which are our segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap.
Oh, did y'all not hear that? Oh, snap?
No, we heard it.
Sorry, I think I talked over it.
Oh. Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
It's very quiet, but we heard it.
Tony. All right, so so my 3 Snaps Award goes to Miss Marla Gibbs because, honey, she came into town, and when I tell you, she laid out the tea for all of us in the best way that Marla Gibbs could, and she looked good. She was, I mean, this whole scene between her and Paulina was everything, and also nostalgic for all of you 227 fans. So Marla Gibbs, Olivia, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh snap.
Oh, snap.
There we go. All right. And now it is time for
All right.
hear that?
Yes, we did.
What y'all laughing at? Why y'all
It was
got
just
the
so
giggle?
quiet. It was so quiet.
Oh, it was quiet?
Yeah.
It was quiet, but we heard it. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I have different headphones in because
Yeah, no worries.
someone emailed me and said that
Really?
I sounded a little low. So I switched
Oh.
headphones.
Oh, really?
So listen, I'm trying to get my volume together, okay?
Yep.
Cut.
All right.
Okay. So
Caption that.
thank you. Okay. This week's caption that photo comes courtesy of Rafe and Nicole crying and Rafe trying to calm her down and all that. So this week's caption goes to Gail Clayton on Facebook with her caption of Nicole saying, "I wanted a Teddy Ruxpin."
Oh wow. Not a Teddy Ruxpin.
Teddy Ruxpin.
Instead of Duke.
Oh, yeah.
She needed a bedtime story.
Oh,
And okay, hold on. And that has been all right. And now it's time for those were the days.
Guys, I'm taking you this week's Those Are the Days. I'm taking you back to August 18th, 1977, where we have, I show you see here the cover of Jet magazine, where we had actor Richard Guthrie, who played David Banning, those of you old timers will remember, and Miss Tina Andrews, who used to play Valerie Grant, the original Valerie Grant, I believe. Yes.
Now you believe this is your Those Were the Days. How you forget?
There's been a couple others that sort of came in. I think there was one actress who came in and left really quickly. So
like the bell we should never know.
Yeah, exactly. That just made me
Charity
think
Raymer of yesteryear.
I know. She popped into my head. I was like, "Oh, get her out! I need to finish this."
Oh,
That's awful. Okay, I'm sorry. Those were the days.
Yes, they were on.
Oh my god.
Wait, he didn't say it. Put it back up. Go ahead. Start again. Take 2. We're live.
Oh my
okay,
god.
go.
No, we done. Okay, yes, we.
That's it.
Are you done or not?
I'm
was
done.
big,
Those
it was
were the days.
wonderful,
August
it had-
18th, 1977. Yeah, we're moving on.
It had a lot of storyline. Yeah.
Those were the days. Okay. Well, now it's time for It's a Gift.
Is it?
Yes. It's my turn. We gotta move it on. We're gonna move it along. I think Mary's a very fine person. And yes, I said it as sweetly as I possibly could. This week's gift goes to Miss Marla Gibbs. Not only is this a blatant 227 reference, it is easily memeable. And I just predicted, like, let's spread this all over the internet because I really think this is it's a meme in and of itself.
And that was It's a Gift. All right, and now we are going to give you some. I almost skipped over all this. Now it's time for some news and gossip.
All right, guys, we are starting with Beyond Salem. We have a little bit more info for you, as far as we know.
I thought you said we're starting with Beyonce.
Oh,
you said Beyond. I was like, Beyonce? Is she coming on the show too?
Is this deja vu? Did we have this? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I brought that up last week.
Yeah. So we know it's premiering September 6th through the 10th. Releasing episodes 5 days a week. We still don't know the length of the episodes. Hopefully we will get that information later, but NBC has released some
okay, so sidebar, when Ron posted that he was watching it, I saw the time code. And
really?
And I think it's like it was like an hour and change.
Okay.
But that may be that may be a rough cut or something. So I think I would assume we were getting at least like a Days of Our Lives, a regular length episode. But
that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, I know the other ones, some of them were shorter. But yeah, so they released these 4 new photos. Of course, we see our first look at Lisa Rinna back as Billy Reed. We see, Abe and Paulina, John and Marlena, and we see Miss Eileen Davidson, who there's still some confusion about who she is playing. We will find that out when it premieres September 6th.
Yep.
Why is there confusion?
Because we don't know, and there was something that was accidentally released and pulled back.
When NBC released these photos, the caption on NBC's website, I know this from Twitter, the caption on NBC's website said pictured Eileen Davidson as Kristen DiMera. Yeah. It was later taken off where then it just said pictured Eileen Davidson.
Yeah.
And everything previous does not say Kristen and goes out of their way not to say Kristen when all the other releases name who everyone is playing. So that's what people were speculating. Maybe she was playing a new character.
We will not know until we see the episode.
I'm pretty sure she's playing someone new.
That's what I'm thinking.
We all love Stacey. We haven't heard anything about Stacey. Mm-hmm. So it's fair to say she's playing someone new.
I'm hoping so too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So moving on, we have a big congratulations to our friend of the show, Mr. Brock Kelly, who played Kevin Christian, and his beautiful wife, Adele. They are expecting their first child soon. Aww. So big congrats to Brock and Adele.
Nice. Yay!
Is that a baby goat?
Looks like it.
So, or a lamb? No, goat, I think.
Aww.
So cute.
Goats are very friendly. The goats are going to be great with the baby.
Moving on, we have Miss Jen Lilly and Linda Dano are starring together in a Hallmark movie that premiered actually last night, but it will be repeating all through the week on the Hallmark Channel. Check your local listings. The name of the movie is a little daytime drama. It takes place the storyline takes place over the course of a soap. So Jen Lilly, Teresa Donovan, Miss Linda Dano, who we've seen lately as Vivian Alamain, starting together in this Hallmark movie. Check your local listings at Hallmark and check it out. A little daytime drama.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All love a little daytime drama.
Yes. Last but not least, our virtual interview events are back, hosted by our very own Mr. Tony Moore. First up, we have Lucas Adams.
Move the picture out of the way so they can see me.
Oh, no.
We have Mr. Lucas
I like this view better.
On September 18th, and Mr. Zachary Tinker, who's playing the new Sonny Kyriakis, on September 25th. Both interviews are 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you can go to SpectrumCelebrityEvents.com for tickets and information.
Love it. All right. And now we are going to show you what is coming up next week on NBC's #1 award-winning soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Now, if you want to see the full, because y'all keep tweeting us and being like, where's the full preview? We don't have that. But we have this one for you. So check it out.
Tell me about this girl you're into.
Her name is Nanya. None your business.
Will you just admit that you want to sleep with Nicole?
I love you.
The shadiness of that, not the crickets after saying I love you. See, when you say I love you, you have to be sure that somebody is going to say it back. You can't be like, because I would never tell y'all I love you, because I know some of y'all hoes ain't gonna say it back.
Oh.
Somebody who wasn't gonna say it back.
Yeah. So I'm not.
It's always been said back to me.
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's a lot to unpack there, but hey, waiting in the wings, we have Salem's newest resident, Mr. Carson Boatman, to come on and chit chat about him. So let's bring him in. Hold on. Here he is. There he is. Hey, Carson.
Hey.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
We're good. How you doing?
I'm good.
Listen to that southern twang you got going on.
Yeah.
Is it a little? Maybe just a little bit. I don't know.
Just a little bit.
Sometimes it bleeds through.
Well, first of all, we've talked a lot about you on the show. A lot of great things. So congratulations on being brought into Salem. And first of all, can we talk about the entrance though? I was like, the first thing I literally said was, "Oh, not coming in through the catacombs." Like that's what I literally said at the TV. Like, everyone else like has a great, like, interesting way that they come into Salem, but no one will ever forget Johnny DiMera coming in through the tunnel.
No one has ever entered from the secret tunnels before.
Yes.
Huh?
I feel honored then. I didn't realize Johnny was the first person to come enter Salem that way.
Not an entrance, no.
Yeah.
They've had those in the show. That they've had the secret.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So they didn't give you any background on why you were coming through the wall. They just. They did. Okay.
He used to play
Coming to the wall.
He used to play in the secret halls. So when he was a kid.
Yeah. Got it.
Well, we always ask this question to all of our guests. Did you audition for Days of Our Lives before landing the role of Johnny?
I did. I auditioned. I'll tell you what, guys. I've auditioned for Days of Our Lives about 62 times.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's a lot of times.
Maybe not quite 62, maybe 5 or 6.
Still a lot.
But yeah. I auditioned for Johnny. I auditioned for Charlie as well. Charlie did.
Oh.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I auditioned for Trip years and years ago.
I was gonna say Trip.
I can see that.
I can see Trip. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, screen tested for Trip, but fortunately, it went to Lucas. No one was gonna play Trip like Lucas, so I see why it went to him, and I'm happy that they kept bringing me back until finally Johnny happened. So
Yeah. Well, listen, if you were Charlie, that would have been real quick.
Yeah.
You would have blinked and then Charlie would be gone. But shout out to Mike Manning who did a great job as Charlie.
Legendary. That guy's been around for forever, Mike Manning. He's very talented.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
How did it feel to, like, after so many times of auditioning for Days, to finally get the call that yes, you got it?
I would be lying if I said I didn't cry right there on the spot.
Oh.
Yeah, I did.
Right.
Marnie, the casting director, she called me. So I had. I'm going to backtrack just a bit. I had moved to Nashville with my then fiance, Julana. We moved to Nashville in November. Just kind of. The act on the acting front was pretty slow. LA is a tough city to live in. It's even tougher when, there's lockdowns in place and it's hard you can't really get a job anywhere because every place is closed. So we made the decision to move to Nashville. And I was going to try and, maybe just focus a little more on the music for a while. So I moved there in November. And then in February, I got the audition for Johnny. I was actually in Colorado on my bachelor party with my buddies. Audition came through. I was like, oh man, it was like we needed it by the end of the day today. One of those quick ones.
Yeah.
And you know how it is on bachelor parties. It was about 11 in the morning when I got the audition. We had been celebrating all morning for some reason,
And drinking, yes.
All right, guys, I need a little bit of silence. Fortunately, a lot of people are actors, so they get it. Me and my buddy Tanner Stein, he read for me, and then I didn't hear anything for a couple weeks. I was like, yeah, that probably didn't go very well. In my head, I was like, we were in Colorado and the tape, didn't hear anything for a while. Got a call from my manager and my agent saying, hey, they liked you. They're gonna bring you back for a producer session via Zoom. And the day before my producer session, I'll never forget it. And I love her to death. That's why I can say this. Marty calls me the day before the audition. She goes, Carson, I don't know what was going on for your first audition. That was one of the worst tapes I've ever seen in my life.
Oh no!
And I was like, oh no. She's like, please, for the love of God, don't make me look bad tomorrow. You have my word. Hey, thank you so much for seeing through it. And B, yes, I will do better tomorrow. I promise.
Well, listen, they had about 6 other auditions to look at.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
They had to know you were talented.
Yes,
Right.
and by now our audience knows who Marnie is, and they know why we love her, which is that this is what she does. She keeps people in mind. She remembers your name, and she goes to bat for the people that she knows that I really feel like they're gonna be good here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is. I would say Marnie is the only person like Marnie in this entire industry. Marnie is it. She is by far the number. If you can make a fan out of Marnie, if you can stick around for long enough, eventually she'll make sure that you get cast in the show. You know what I mean? So she is incredible. So I do the audition the next day. Actually, and I'm not making this up. I actually had COVID during the callback, so I was one. But I faked it as hard as I could to feel good for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Again, they were like, thanks. Like every audition,
Done.
Didn't hear anything for a long time. Again, I was like, dang it again, and I got close on another one. A few weeks later, I'm at work. I was serving tables at an Italian spot in Nashville. And I apologize, guys. I'm super long-winded with my stories.
It's fine. We're in it.
We're
picturing the Italian restaurant. We just finished off the Zoom. We're in it with you.
We're with you. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I'm there. A few weeks later, I see my manager, Carl Rumbaugh, is calling me. And initially, this role was meant to be a 6-month spot on the show. Mm-hmm. And so I think if it's less than a year, they don't always do a screen test. And so when I saw the call, I was like, oh, yes, I'm going to put my 2 weeks in at this restaurant right now. You know what I mean? I'm walking to my manager's office as I'm on the phone. No, he says, hey, I have good news and bad news. I was like, okay.
Uh-oh. What's
the good news? And he was like, the good news is Days really likes you, and they want to how did he word it? Basically, the good news was they still like you. The bad news is you have one more round to get through because now they've upped it to a year, so they need a screen test. You got to be in LA next week. So, did it, went to LA, screen tested on a Friday, left right after that. Saturday, Sunday, Monday morning, I get a call from Marnie saying, hey, you got to act surprised still when your managers and agents call you, but I want to be the first one to tell you, you booked the role. And I'm getting dude, it was a life-changing thing for me. So,
yeah. I mean, it's not just any role. This is a legacy character of probably two of a super couple that's probably the most
you're a child
fiery,
of Sammy Brady.
Fiery. I mean, the child of Sammy Brady alone is a big get, but then you're a DiMera as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really think if I everything happens for a reason, right? You know, and I'm so thankful to be playing Johnny. I've loved being able to bring him to life. I'm glad other people are liking it too now that he's got some episodes out. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of really exciting stuff in store for Johnny. So there's been some crazy stuff that's happened. So.
Well, listen, I think
on Days, really?
This week we definitely got a peek into Johnny because
we got a peek. All right.
Yeah, we definitely got a peek of Johnny this week with the thirst trap. I was like, oh, Days really. We're doing this. I'm like, all right.
I love
on day 2, on episode 2, first scene.
Yeah,
it's all out.
My second day, I'm walking in and they're like, cool, your wardrobe's downstairs. And I was like, well, there's only a robe. And I was like, yeah, you're shirtless. And I was like, oh, cool.
Get to the gym.
Yeah.
Gyms better be open enough because I need to get to the
gym. Yeah.
Carson, one thing we were remarking on is the ease in which you sort of came into the role, and it's very effortless, at least it seems so on screen. What sort of background info did either Marnie or producers or give you to sort of learn Johnny? Or maybe since he was such a small character or such a young character the last time we saw him, maybe background info on other characters in that relationship?
Yeah, so I talked a little bit with Marnie. I talked a little bit with Albert Alar, who is one of the executive producers. And we just talked backstory of how Johnny came to be. First of all, my mom is like giant Days of Our Lives fan. So
I
had a good awareness of like
nice.
of the history. Like I knew, the rape thing with EJ and Sammy, and different dads, twins, the whole crazy,
that's cool.
And so I kind of had an idea, but what's cool, like you guys referenced, is the last time Johnny was on the show, he was so young, and so from age 12 to age 21, a person does a lot of changing, probably grew a few inches first of all,
just a few.
But so I think it enabled me to kind of, I had a little bit of leeway, like for example, like sorry, I'm like squirming around here. I'm drinking an energy drink, so I'm like but like Dan Fiergal came in to play EJ. Well, EJ's already been, but first of all, Dan's done a great job of making EJ his own. Dan's an incredible actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I really loved, and enjoyed working with him and chatting with him outside of work. But it's like from a kid to 21, you can kind of bring your own take on it because that kid could have changed 180 from when he was young to when he's now. So it kind of gave me a bit of freedom to kind of just decide who Johnny is, you know what I mean? Yeah. Figure out who Johnny is and what he likes. Obviously, you have to play to the fact that his dad is EJ DiMera and his grandfather is Stefano DiMera. So there is absolutely a sense of like entitlement and confidence and just power that comes with that. So, knew I had to work that in, but just kind of freedom to make him like, I wanted to try to give him a just a touch of like kind of funny, not just like smolder guy, smolder hot guy with like power dad. So,
it's the charm. We talked about it already. It's the charm aspect of it's like
So
and you seem like you'd be the child of EJ and Sammy, but
just trying to find a medium between them,
Yeah. No, you know what? He actually, and now that you say, Justin says that, I think about this. You seem like you'd be the child of EJ and Sammy, who hasn't had to have 100% FaceTime with both parents.
Totally.
You really like because I think I suspect, and you tell me if I'm wrong, we're gonna see what that FaceTime's gonna do to Johnny, because having that relationship with your parents young is way different than coming back, living with them again as an adult, and you're like, oh, you want to tell me what to do?
Yeah, it's
okay.
Like, you guys actually have. Maybe you should focus on your own problems here, guys, before you start telling me what to do. You know. So you're right. Yeah, Johnny's been, he's been off in Italy, at school, and kind of just being his own person, gallivanting.
So how would you describe present Johnny right now? Like, since you're laying the foundation and groundwork of the Johnny, the older Johnny, how would you describe him?
I would describe him kind of like I said, he automatically, just because of who his families are, is going to have that, confidence, don't back down, go for what he wants type of thing. But also I think, there comes all the benefits of having really, really like a powerful, very wealthy father. And, kind of like Sammy is very, she's like small town famous, and, like everyone in Salem is like
small town famous.
Well, I mean,
Sammy is Salem.
Sammy is Salem. Yeah.
But like having your parents both be like high profile people, and your dad be, more than just powerful, but a little notorious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of insecurities that come. I think Johnny would like to have the approval of his father, and he would like to have the love of his father because he never had it growing up. So there's a lot of underlying. He almost projects that level of confidence because deep down he really is a little insecure because he never really got nourished as a child. He didn't get a lot of probably FaceTime like you guys said with his parents. So there's a little insecurity, which can lead sometimes to anger probably. So I'm not going to say he's a loose cannon, but I think he is prone to reacting poorly in certain situations, as are his parents, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, like son, like parent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you give me a preview of how we've seen now Johnny and Allie have reunited, and they're not just siblings, they're twins.
Yeah.
So how is their relationship going to play out? Like, do they act like regular siblings, or do they have that twin thing where they kind of like know what each other's thinking kind of thing?
I don't know that they have that twin telepathy, but they know each other well. You know what I mean? Like, they know one another. So I think it's hard. Like, Allie can't bullshit with Johnny, and Johnny can't bullshit with Allie because it's just like, come on. You're basically talking to, like, you can't get anything past me. I'm your twin. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So very, very like siblings. They have their ups and downs. They have their spats, but I think they love each other and they support each other at the end of the day.
And you can definitely tell that this week because just the way, like, he came in, it was just like Alley Cat and like just the warm embrace and everything. You can already tell that, and it was established this week that like they do have a great bond. It's not like a twin bond where it's like, what am I thinking? Oh, you're thinking this, but it's definitely a strong, it's definitely a strong relationship. Sorry, Michael Mattis, what were you going to say?
No, I was just curious with you and Lindsay and you and Dan and Billy and everyone Raven, everyone you kind of played off with. We talked before about how you just had kind of a natural chemistry with everybody. But how much actual FaceTime did you get with these folks before you were actually on set? Because with COVID and everything, and I don't know how that compares to other experiences where you maybe are able to get to know people like on an interpersonal level before you're actually working with them. Like, how did that kind of go for you? How did you feel about that going in?
I mean, like the only FaceTime, kind of like you said, that I had before working with them was literally on FaceTime, like 30 minutes before the scene, just kind of going over our lines really quick. So it was not a ton of time to create that. outside. But fortunately, I mean, I can't say enough about how incredible each and every single actor, crew member, producer, director on Days is. Like, I think it's so unique because I've been on shoots and on sets where it's not that way. Every single person is so gracious, so welcoming, patient. So it's easy to kind of find that, you know, and at the end of the day, we're all professionals. So it's our job to find that, you know, under any circumstances with each other and create whatever needs to be created. But it definitely helps that everyone is so, because I was really nervous. You know, I didn't know everybody. And my first thought was, well, a lot of these people have been on this show a long time. They might, you know, I'm the new guy. Like, so it's kind of like maybe being the new kid at school, but it wasn't at all. Everyone is incredible. They make it easy.
Oh, good.
And since then, we've been able to hang out and, you know, go grab drinks or whatever after work and hang out on the weekends. It's really cool.
Yeah. Now, bigger question is, what did your mom think of your episodes this week? Because you just said she was a diehard Days fan. So, like, now that you're on the show, did you, like me? My mom texts me all the time during this show to give me her thoughts. But what were your mom's thoughts about your debut this week?
My mom's thought, I mean, that she was ecstatic. You know, it was really cool to see. I wasn't, you know, it's like, you hope people like it. Obviously, you want people to like it. And it's your mom, so she's always going to tell you that she likes it. I can tell, like, she was really excited, and as with my grandparents and my dad, and it was really cool. It's really special to, like, see, you know, especially as an actor, like, a lot of it is being unemployed and not sure about your future, which is not ideal for anyone's parent. You know, they like their kids to be safe and secure. So it's been really cool to see them kind of be like, oh wow, Carson's, like, you know, it's cool to see them be proud, I guess. When it comes to. And another little tidbit, obviously I'll have some scenes with John Black because he's my step grandpa. But
your namesake.
Who you're named after,
Yes, my name's But I was talking to my mom one day. I was like, oh yeah, I was just shooting some scenes with John Black. I'm headed home now. You know, how's your day going? And she was like, that is so weird because I had the biggest crush ever on John Black. And now he's like, you're working with him on a daily basis. It's so funny.
Was there anyone, like, from talking to your mom or just knowing what you did know about the show, was there anyone that you've worked with that you were particularly nervous about going in?
Marlena, iconic. Marlena, but again, just such a great human being, so welcoming, so easy, you know. So I'm just so thankful for that. And you know, I don't want to give too much away. There are other people, you know, on the show. They come and go, so I don't want to.
Listen, don't foreshadow. Keep your job.
Yes. Yeah, the chat
room worked real hard for it.
There are several people in the chat room that want to know how it was working with a particular person, and we're not going to ask that question because it would. You know, we don't know what's happening with that person right now, so we won't ask it.
I'll throw a random question in because I've seen this several times. Several people have asked, is Carson aware that Johnny technically has a fake eye?
Yeah.
Yes, I was aware. I'm aware. Grew back.
It grew back.
It'll go the way of Philip's amputated leg, or Yeah.
Listen, in soaps, anything can happen. One phone call can take you off of a family tree.
One visit from a grandma can take you off of a family tree. Is what we had happen this week.
You guys also saw that. It could change who your whole mom is. You know?
If anything, we're relieved that the one thing we do know about Johnny is his parentage.
Yes. There is no dispute. No dispute there. Yes.
Marianne in our chat room, I don't believe this is your first TV role, but she wants to know, was this your first TV role, and what other roles have you played?
This is my second TV role, Marianne. Thank you for asking. So this is my second TV role. My first TV role was in a Lifetime movie called Stalked by My Doctor. It was starring myself, Brianna Comer, as well as Eric Roberts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've done a couple of independent films as well. I think you can find one of them on Netflix. It was called Bedeviled. That was kind of a young teen ensemble cast. So I played one of there's like 4, 5, 6 leads. I played one of them. And then another movie that I actually have coming out. Sorry, I'm Marianne. I'm getting way off topic here.
No.
Oh no, plug away.
This is
Yeah. And then I've got a movie coming out. It premieres here in LA next month, late September. I think it hits all the streaming platforms early to mid-October. I don't have the exact dates, but it's a film called Runt. It's actually Cameron Boyce's final film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's starring, obviously, Cameron is the lead, myself, Jason Patrick. Yeah, it's a whole another Charles Gillespie, who's on Julie and the Phantoms now. Brianna Comer from Deadpool, Aramis Knight. He was on a television show called Badlands. So it's another kind of teen high school dark coming of age movie. So look out for that on probably. I'm just guessing here. I don't know. Don't quote me. Amazon, Hulu, Netflix. Those types of things.
Yeah.
Now, Carson, as a film person, you know this industry, you know how this works. How did you feel about knowing that was actually Johnny's passion as well? Because to my knowledge, we don't actually get a lot of soap characters that actually say, I want to be a filmmaker, I want to be this. We don't get that actually.
I think my brother Will on the show, he wanted to do that. He wanted to be
that's right.
He wrote a script way back when. But no, it was so cool. And it's so funny because I'll be at home like running my lines, and it's like, wow, I'm an actor practicing my lines that my character had, practicing my lines for the movie that my character's trying to make. So it's cool. It's really cool. Yeah.
A lot of people have asked this because I think like shortly after you were announced of coming on to the show, we then saw that you got married and we saw those photos as well. So Kelly wants to know, how has marriage life been?
Kelly, it has been so far, at least the first month has been blissful.
Good.
Yeah.
Very, very newlywed.
It's been so great. And our wedding, we talk about it all the time, Julian and I. Our wedding day was like it was like out of a fairy tale, and it's like
it looked beautiful. Like,
was it weird? Because I saw your wedding photos in People. Was that weird?
Yes.
It's like People exclusive.
Yeah,
it was very, very weird. Look, if you told me 5 years ago, hey, you're going to be married in 5 years, I'd say, no, I'm not. You're crazy. And if you said, not only are you going to be married, it's going to be to a super hot smoke show, and you're going to be in People magazine, I would have been like, okay, like, am I unpunked? So yeah,
and look, it all happened.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I love that. So, and then Kelly also wants to know, because Kelly has a lot of questions. We love Kelly.
Bring them on.
It's good questions.
But now that you are a part of the Days family, you now get to enjoy some wonderful events. And we know that your first one is going to be next week in Providence, Rhode Island with Starstruck Fan Events. So she wants to know, are you excited to go to Providence?
I'm so excited. I've never been requested to attend anything in my life. So I'm excited to be like a guest somewhere. That'll be really fun.
Cool. I'm from Providence. I'll give you some tips on where to go to eat or what to get. Yeah. I'll send you some.
Yeah, please.
If you do like seafood?
Love it.
Okay. Yeah. You're in the right place then.
Okay.
Yay.
Yeah. I'll send you some. Yeah.
Check it out. Yeah.
I can tell you this. with the fan events because I'm sort of familiar.
Yes.
With them. You're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to meet a ton of people.
Yeah.
And if you continue going to events, you're going to meet those people again and again and again. To the point where you're gonna bond with these people and you're gonna feel like you really know them. It's always
you're gonna meet people that know more about you than you do.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
These people do deep dives, and so they will know, and they will know. They will be able. These are the people that if you have a character question, these are the people to ask.
Yes.
They will know everything.
Yes.
And these are the same people, like I tell people, like, you're so lucky to get on a soap because soap fans will follow you anywhere. They will follow whatever independent film you make, whatever music you want to do, they will follow you anywhere.
I know. Speaking of which, like I was talking with I think Joanna because I'm like, dude, it would be because I want to eventually. I have no plans to in the near future, the next year or two, but I think it'd be cool to like write and star in my own movie, get some money together and make a movie. And then I was like, well, now that I'm on Days, like I bet we could get like a certain amount of streams or downloads of this if I could convince all the Days cast to come and like do this. And we all play different characters. I think that'd be really cool.
Hey, that's to my knowledge, isn't that how The Bay started?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's how The Bay started on Amazon, and that's blown up. It's an Emmy winner. So it can be done.
Carson, you might be onto something.
I don't know. Sounds like somebody already was onto it.
Listen, but get on it because you never know.
Without giving too much away, Green Cat wants to know if you have worked with Jack A at all.
I have worked with Jack A. I would imagine that'll be coming up in the next couple days, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, so soon. Okay. Cool. Well, they really threw you in with all the
I got another funny story. So, Jack A, absolute legend, right? I mean, she everything. And I was so nervous before we started our scene, and my hands were just it's like I dipped them in a bucket of water.
Hand sweat.
And I was like introducing myself, and I was like holding her hand, holding Pauline. Johnny was holding Paulina's hand, and Jack A goes, "What's on your hand?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "Is that your hands just that sweaty?" And it was in front of everybody. Like, it was so loud and I was like, you know what? Yes, guys, everybody, now we all know I have sweaty hands. Let's move on with the scene. I'm sorry, Jack.
And then she was flattered. Yeah.
She was flattered. Yeah, no, she's
I love that. I mean, you gotta
forget it.
I'm pretty sure she's just like because she seems like this on screen. She's just a big ball of energy, and like you can't help but to like as soon as you get around it, you're just in it.
Absolutely captivating. Yeah.
So I always like to ask this because and not to give anything away because again, we here at Dishin Days want all of their actors to keep their jobs. But
all the actors appreciate you at Dishin Days.
Exactly.
Symbiotic relationship.
Right. But if you could describe in one word Johnny's journey so far that you know of and what we are expecting to see storyline wise, you could sum it up in one word, what would it be?
That is a lot. That's a lot to put into one word.
But we don't want to get you in trouble, so one word it is.
I limit it to one because let me tell you, we have some Dancy Drews in the daytime world. And you can give a number of words and then they will come in with like a PowerPoint presentation, say, I know exactly how the storyline is going to play out. I'm going to do this, do that, do that. So I say one to kind of throw them off a little bit so that way they can't do too deep of a dive.
Okay, I'll just say wild.
Wild.
I like that.
Yeah. I feel like that's that's expected. Like I think this week was definitely a great introduction to Johnny and just like who he's going to be interacting with. I think already we love the chemistry that Johnny and Chanel has. So interested to see how that's going to go, and also to continue seeing the relationship with Allie and Johnny, you know, as siblings. And we just hope that at some point someone cares where Sammy is, because at this point no one does.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point they will.
Some point.
Alex is very quickly though.
Because we were just saying that we were like, everyone was just kind of like, okay, we got this sex in, we're fine. Like no one cares about Sammy, and it's totally okay. There was one more. Oh, I did have one more question. Because when you said you moved to Nashville and then you got the call to Days, for some reason in my mind, I pictured you and your now wife getting settled in Nashville, putting the plants where they should go, finally hanging those curtains up, and then you get that call, and it's like, now we got to go back.
Yeah.
How was that? Was that a little jarring for you guys, or did you just roll with it? Or
lot to do, So I got the call on. It was March 13th. I think it was March 15th or 14th. Got the call, and they said, no, I think it was March 16th. And then I was like, that's great. And they were like, yeah, it's great. So we'll see you in like 2 weeks. Is that cool? And I was like, oh gosh, that's so I'm on the phone. I was on the phone, and Julana, start packing. I didn't even know why. I just said, hey, start putting stuff back and put it back in the boxes.
Don't take that out. That box that we haven't unpacked, leave it.
This is why you get the $5 containers from Big Lots, because you never know where you're going to need them.
Yep. It's worth it to get a plastic container that's going to last, because you might have to use it again.
We lost
Justin.
His computer die?
No, we knew at some point his Wi-Fi was going to give out on him at some point. So, and it just so happened to be here.
It's a casualty.
It's a casualty. Well, Carson, we are very much looking forward to the storyline and what Johnny is going to bring to Salem. And we really hope that, like, as the storyline progresses, that you'll come back on and chit chat with us, and we can really like.
I don't even want to leave right now, if I'm being honest. I want to keep it up.
We can
get back whenever you want.
We can keep it. Oh wait, I see Justin coming back, but I'm not sure if he. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
He's totally back now.
Bring him in.
Hey, sorry guys.
Yeah, I told him that at some point your Wi-Fi was going to give out, and it did. And so it's it's fine. We're not blaming you. We're blaming the Wi-Fi. But yeah. So Carson, you definitely have to come back, so that way we can, because we have so many more questions, but we can't ask them because we don't want you to give things away. But we're super excited. You're already killing it this week, and we can't wait to see how Johnny unfolds.
I know, it'll be exciting. It'll be an exciting couple months for Johnny.
For sure. And I was actually before this, I was told that your wife used to host at AfterBuzz.
Yes.
Which is where we started.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Dishin Days used to be at AfterBuzz. I was a host there for many, many years. And so a friend of mine was like, oh yeah, his wife used to be at AfterBuzz, and I was like, really? Because I was one of those AfterBuzz people that literally came right before their show, did it, and then left immediately after. Yeah, I was that guy. So.
Yeah, I think she might have been a little bit that way too. Now she's at Hollywire. She starts a new show on Hollywire this week, actually. Wednesday.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
yes,
cool.
plug.
Yes.
Yeah. Just trying to plug it on. I'm running out of outlets, but I'm trying to plug as much as I can.
Well, just make sure you tweet it out or something. We'll be sure to share it, so that way all of your fans can be her fans too.
Yes, please. Yes, thank you. She'll really appreciate that.
Yay. All right. Well, Carson, we will hopefully talk again soon. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And we seriously, we can't wait. Like, we've been waiting for the appearance of Johnny since, they first
that
announced
promo
him.
months ago. Yeah.
I was waiting for Johnny
ago.
for Johnny when Allie first came to town.
Okay, so Araceli,
Right.
do you want to tell him that about the who done shot Charlie? Because you thought it was Johnny, right?
Yep, you sure did.
Oh,
that's
did
right.
I? Oh
You
my
sure
god, I
did.
even forgot about that. I
Actually-
for a second did.
Great.
Yeah.
Let me find my notes. Because
Oh my god, he has his notes still.
Yep, I sure do. Because in the case
We've
of
since moved on to a board, but
yes,
we were writing it down.
we are very high
napkin or
tech now.
something.
Yep, I have it right here. Araceli in the Who Done Shot Charlie case said specifically that Johnny shot Charlie, and
He
that's
was
how,
her twin.
Honestly, that would have been great. That would have been really cool. I wish Johnny shot Charlie.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Totally
see,
plausible.
But see, we all said, we were like, no. That's not the way we want Johnny to come on, because then he's going to be in trouble. He might go to jail, and then we may not see him.
Right.
But, Carson, I want you to know that
people get away with it all the time.
Exactly.
It's Salem. Like, Salem can, I don't know what kind of lawyers they have, but in Salem.
Bell, Black, and
two.
Justin. Two. Bell and Justin, that's it.
Yeah. No, and EJ. EJ is a lawyer.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
right.
that's right.
Technically,
Yeah,
EJ's an
that's right.
attorney. Yeah.
EJ's been everything. He's been a race car driver. He's been a lawyer. He's a corporate
Like a race car driver.
CEO.
Yeah.
He came. Yeah.
But
Jack of all trades.
Carson, I want you to know that in the case of Who Done Kidnapped Sammy, you are not listed.
Yes.
on there. You're not listed.
Oh, that's interesting, though.
No. I highly doubt that. No, don't go there.
No, because
It's his mom.
And also, they have a great relationship. Remember, she did the phone
Yeah.
call while she was burning the letter.
Yeah.
Johnny would never do that to
I mean, he
Sammy.
might do it to his dad, but not his mom.
But
Listen, we know next to nothing about Johnny.
But if there is any
We'll
doubt,
find out.
Carson, just know that if your name gets added, we're tweeting it out. We're gonna be like, Carson,
Tweet it out.
you looked a little suspicious this week.
Oh.
You've been added to the Who Done Shot.
Who Done Kidnapped
Who done kidnapped Sammy?
And it's known now who did shoot Charlie, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was a plot twist in itself.
Yeah.
Jan.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because everyone wanted to blame Allie.
But you agree, Carson, that my guess was probable. I mean, possible.
Because it's like, okay, she's in town. Johnny's got to be close behind her. Oh, she got raped. Like any good brother. I mean, I don't know. Like,
It tracks.
It's believable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say any good brother would murder somebody because I have siblings, so I'm a brother, and I don't want to implicate myself into murder.
Right.
In Salem, a good brother would murder.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
In Salem.
In Salem. This is very true. Okay, Carson, we don't want to kidnap you on the show. But we definitely look forward to having you back on. You are such a pleasure and super talented and came into this role with such ease. And so we cannot wait to see all the shenanigans that you're about to bring to Salem.
There will be one or two.
I have no doubt about that.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me on. This was so much fun. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to the next time. And Michael, good to see you again.
Oh, good to see. Yeah, I was gonna say thank you for sitting with me a while ago for some pics. Yeah, they came out great. So
they really did.
Yeah.
I gotta start putting them out. I got all my pictures
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Instagram
Nice.
saved up. I'm really
I was able to meet Carson and Julana up around the corner from me for some pictures that we've put out on social. And he was I was telling him I love it when I don't have to direct people on how to pose or anything.
Yes.
Because he has it all down. So yeah, it was fun.
Wait, how did he do it, Michael?
Yes, yeah.
I'm not redoing it. No. I'm behind the camera. Yeah, great. You'll GIF it. Someone will GIF it and put it on Twitter in 20 minutes.
Oh gosh, that what I just did?
No, I think they're talking about what I did.
Oh,
although, yeah.
Listen, anything on this show is
GIFable.
I might get caught with a blue steel GIF. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Oh well.
Right. And now that we've said it, someone's gonna go back and look, and they're gonna tweet it out. So give it about a couple of hours. And
a couple of hours. 20 minutes. No, Tony. 20 minutes. These folks immediately, once we finish the show, they go to work and they'll get it. But But yes, good to see you again, Carson. It was
And that was a great photo shoot. Michael showed me the pictures the other day because I was like, oh, we need some pictures to promote this. And
he said, we got them.
I was just like, I kept looking and I was like, there are too many to pick. I was like, you pick them and because there's too many. There was a lot of good ones. But I'm gonna tell all of you out there, you can't steal them because Michael Mattis has put his stamp on it, so you can't.
I put our stamp on it. Our stamp.
No false credits. No false credits here.
No false credits here.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you, Carson, and hopefully we'll do this again, and hopefully at some point in person.
In person,
yes. 20.
And safe travels next weekend.
2025, we'll all be able to meet in person again.
Right.
2025.
Exactly. And safe travels next week to Providence, and say hello to all the fans there for us because they're all familiar with us as well. And have fun.
Yeah, have a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
All right. Take care, Carson.
Bye. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. I like that. Carson is so nice.
He's fun.
Very easy to talk to.
Yeah, very easy.
Tony, you put the thought in my mind. We'll talk about it offline, but I have.
Another person I want to have brunch with.
Oh well, yeah. Mimosas. Let's invite him to mimosas.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to
Wait, I have one more plug. Guys. This morning, the Maurice Bernard's State of Mind episode with Lindsay Godfrey dropped this morning. Yeah. It is phenomenal. I can't say enough good things about this, and I want to plug it right now because Lindsay Godfrey is diagnosed with bipolar, same as Maurice Bernard, but she has a dual diagnosis as well, BPD, and she gets so in depth with Maurice Bernard. But Lindsay, she's just so fun, and she's just so Lindsay. And go check it out. It's phenomenal. I'm waiting for part 2.
Oh. And Lindsay Godfrey has been really great about having open dialogue about mental health and everything like that. So kudos to her. And that's it. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Dishin Days. But before we go, Michael Mattis, tell the kind folks while I play some music where they can find you on the social medias.
You can find me on the social media at ML Mattis. That's where you can find me.
I love that you did that.
I was like, did I make one last week? Nope.
Araceli, what is the one social media platform they can find you on?
You can find me on Twitter at Tia323 Araceli.
And just like your twin, Justin, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
All right. And of course, you guys can find all of us on social media. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and _Dishin Days on the Twitter. And of course, you can find Lil Old Chocolate Me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony. We want to give a big thank you and welcome to Carson Boatman for coming on and chit-chatting with us. And you can find him on Instagram. Carson
I think his
Boatman.
Twitter and Instagram are the same. But definitely Instagram.
Yeah, so make sure you follow him, show him some love, tweet him a gift that you probably just made, and tell him how much you enjoyed seeing him on the show. Thank you, Carson, for joining us. Yeah. Yes. And thank you guys for tuning in as well. And we'll see you next week on another full recap of your favorite #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Oh yeah, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And buy merch. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Everyone have a great week.